We'll call the October 18th special meeting to order.
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda for the special meeting.
Second.
Motion made second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 3.0, preliminary plat, Anderson Meadows. This item was presented at the October 11th, 2021 City Council meeting, but was tabled until council received a recommendation from the Parks Commission for park dedication requirements. That recommendation is contained in this report and is as follows. The Parks Commission reviewed the plat at their October 12, 2021 meeting and recommended cash in lieu of land for park dedication requirements per City Code, Section 66-195. Staff is working with the property owner to determine the amount required for park dedication fees. This fee will be paid prior to the release of the final plat for filing with Anoka County. In 2003, City Council approved the plat for Oak Brook Acres. Staff has attached a sketch plan and final plat for Oak Brook Acres, which details that Gia Street was intended to extend to the north when the land was developed as part of the Oak Brook Acres development. A temporary cul-de-sac was constructed as shown on attachment 4 and 5 in your packet. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on September 28, 2021. 3 residents stated they were opposed to the street extension as there are children who play in the cul-de-sac and for security reasons. The Planning Commission discussed this item and supported the recommendation of the extension of Gia Street to Durant Street. The Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend the approval of the preliminary plat for City Council considerations. Planning Commission recommends approval of the preliminary plat known as Anderson Subdivisions with the conditions set forth in the attached resolution and request approval of Resolution 2021-68, approval of the preliminary plat for Anderson Meadows.
I'll make a motion for approval of resolution 2021-68, approval of the primary plat for Anderson Meadows.
Second.
Motion made second. Question, Jack. Chris ain't here, but did we move on this last week?
We moved to table it until we got the recommendation.
Well, I know
back.
we did that, but we had this, did we have a motion last time? I just want to make sure.
No, the motion was to table it until we got the recommendation from the Parks Commission.
Okay, so we didn't, we
No.
didn't go to discussion last
No,
time? Okay,
no.
all right, okay. Motion made in this, second discussion.
I want to talk about what the residents are asking for having Gia Street go to Durant Street. Why is that not going to happen? Or is it going to go into Durant Street anyways, and just go all the way through? It's really hard to see on these maps, but if the fire chief thinks that it going to Durant Street is necessary for safety, I think that should be a requirement.
It does go to Durant Street. It goes Gia to Durant.
It's coming from the cul-de-sac all the way out to Durant.
It goes all the way out.
Yeah, the residents that opposed it were in favor of putting a cul-de-sac.
They wanted a cul-de-sac against a cul-de-sac, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
That or a cul-de-sac up against Durant or something, but they didn't want to change.
They didn't want it to be a through.
They
street.
didn't want it to open and
to a whole through street, okay. I misunderstood. I thought it was just going to be little tiny roads and Durant Street was a different access. All right, I don't have a problem with this then, thanks.
Okay. Other discussion? Jack, before the meeting, we were talking about the zoning. And so what was your discussion with Stephanie on that?
I have Stephanie on the phone here, and I'll let her address that. Stephanie, can you hear me?
You can't hear her. Is it on speaker?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
okay.
Stephanie, the question was regarding the zoning of the Anderson Meadows subdivision. It's listed as ag, and there's a proposal, as I understand, to rezone this. The question is, can we approve the plat without the rezoning?
Yes, we can. So what we can do is, well, first of all, we have it on the October Planning Commission meeting for rezoning. So then it goes to City Council on November 8th. So my suggestion right now is, if there isn't a condition in there, to add a condition that the rezoning needs to be approved prior to the final plat.
So,
So what will happen at the November 8th meeting then is, Mr. Strandland does want to have the final plat on that meeting. So what would happen is we would have the rezoning first and then the final plat after that on the agenda.
so in the resolution, we have items 1 through 4. We would add item 5, change of zoning.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Zoning from ag to rural residential would need to be approved prior to final plat approval.
Okay, do we have to add that through motion, or can we just add that?
You need to add it to the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Make a motion to amend.
make a motion to amend to add to, item number 5, before final plat can be approved, the zoning must be changed from agricultural to rural residential.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second on a motion to amend, discussion. Hearing none to the motion to amend, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to amend passes. Now back to original motion. So the rezoning from ag to residential, that's going to require a public hearing, correct?
Yes, it requires a public hearing and those notices have been sent out.
Okay. And so what, if this is approved as presented tonight, is there any construction that happens before the final plat?
He can start grading. That's correct.
Okay. What happens if the rezoning is not approved?
It's at the developer's own risk if he wants to start grading or not.
How did we get to this point with the resident, when the zoning, when, you know, this was.
Steve, can you go with the microphone? State your name and address, please.
Steve Strandland, 987-249th.
Thanks.
How did we get to this point before this issue was brought up? Because we talked about this, like, when I very first came in to see if I should do a sketch plan, and I was told more than once that I can just do it with the preliminary plat. So when was it realized that the zoning was not appropriate?
The zoning, I don't believe there should be any issue with the rezoning of the property because the comprehensive plan shows it as a rural residential future development area.
Okay.
So once we rezone it, it will still be in compliance with our comprehensive plan.
Okay.
I think what Steve's question though was when was it realized and why are we talking about it tonight? I mean, why wasn't it rezoned earlier when this went through planning last time?
Because we did not get the public hearing notice out. The public hearing notice was already sent out without me knowing that the rezoning was not part of it. So we weren't able to, once I noticed it, the public hearing notices were already due to the paper, and so we weren't able to advertise for it.
Okay, well, we'll have to go through with the process.
Well, I mean, we need to make it clear in this resolution that this is a conditional approval. until it gets rezoned, so I don't know if it changes anything.
Yeah, the final plat wouldn't be able to be approved until the rezoning.
And that's fine, the timeline on that is fine with me, for that process to play out and the final plat be recorded, that's not an
Jack,
issue
can you
on my side.
repeat that?
Could you repeat that, please,
I
Steve?
say that the timeline on that's not an issue to me, so on the final plat portion of it, it's the construction side of it that has to happen now, the timeline on the final plat, is fine for that hearing to happen.
Yes, and how East Bethel has dealt with it in the past is that he can start his grading and such. It's at their own risk. We don't take any money or anything on that, so he can start his grading. He just would not be able to finalize the final plat until the rezoning's approved.
That's fine, but we need to make it clear that until that rezoning's done, that anything he does is at risk. If this doesn't get rezoned for some reason, then they're got a 1 in 10 density, so. I mean, I'm not happy the fact this is in front of us when, we're here for a special meeting because something wasn't done last time, and now we're at this impasse again where we're approving something that's not zoned properly. That doesn't sit right with me, but, I mean, I can see where this is gonna end up. I'm sure it's gonna pass, but to have council again pass something without getting everything done properly right is frustrating, so. So if we had a sixth condition that just states that, the applicant's at their risk of any construction, I'm not sure how to word it, but, I mean, I think it needs to be part of the motion, so it's documented. Any other thoughts?
Are you willing to take that risk, Steve?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to add condition number 6, that the contractor understands that until the zoning is approved, any work he does is at his own risk.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second, discussion to the motion to amend. Okay, hearing no other discussion on the motion to amend, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Back to the original motion. Any further discussion? Okay, to the original motion as amended twice, with number 5 and number 6 added. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
I apologize, Steve. We apologize as a group.
This part is, when I tried in the beginning to avoid. Anyway, thanks for getting it done, meeting tonight to do it.
Very good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Thanks, Steph.
Motion made in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Our special meeting is adjourned.